Hey everyone, it's Yarnell here, and I never thought I would say this, but it's good to be back on RETROcirq, the Legacy channel. It's first of all, it's good to be back here on this channel, RETROcirq. As you can tell, last year around this time, I said screw it. I was done with RETROcirq. I was mentally done because of burnout, creative burnout, so many things. The truth is, as you probably can tell, I loved making content. Okay. I loved writing, producing, and directing all this stuff, including prior to the end of the channel, we had a new character named Callie, played by Erica Dawn. She's really grateful to this format, and we couldn't ask for a better actor. So for that, we're so grateful, and we're going to continue working with her, but in a different aspect. I'll tell you more about it in a moment. I was burned out. I've been doing this for 20 years, and for the first time in my life, I was literally burnt out in so many ways. I was just tired. I was just fed up, with everything, and I just couldn't take it. I just couldn't take. I mean, I guess you could say I was more of a people pleaser. I wanted to please the audience, but then when I did that, when I did Cirque Archives, I knew from the moment there, I was like, this isn't who I am. This wasn't who I am. This wasn't the channel's vision. This wasn't the channel's idea. This is not what the channel is all about. And so I was like, you know what? I was done. I was literally done. For people who grew up in a certain age, you guys may remember the fast food joint Jack in the Box. And in the mid 80s, Jack in the Box wanted to appeal to a more upscale yuppie crowd by turning their entire restaurants into Monterey Jacks.
The Monterey Jacks. Does that answer your question?
That turned out to be one of the worst ideas the company has ever had. And so a year later, they brought Jack back.
Now, I don't want to say I told you so, but welcome back, Jack.
So that's what we're doing here. We're bringing the Cirque back. However, okay, I want to make this very clear now that we're not going to do it in the way that we did it before. I'm sure a lot of you had a lot of feedback about the branding, the content, everything. And I've been listening to you guys. I listened to you. I've really looked at the comments, which I'm sure many people on the internet urge people not to do it. I looked at the polls. In fact, this is the poll that wanted us to come back. That's for sure. Just if you look at it right there. Yeah, So that poll over here, like about like 30 out of 32 people, like almost 80% of you wanted the channel to be back active. And so we did. But here's the thing. We're not going to do like what we did before. All the stuff that we're doing, the wild stuff, is over on our sister channel, Studio 3. Now, this channel will be more of a stripped down channel. It will be more back to basics, but we will still have a host. The host will still be Livy. But here's the thing. It's not going to be Livy will not be played by Vanessa, unfortunately. But Erica will be back portraying her. Long story. But going back to but enough with the spiel for a moment. So yeah, going back to what I was talking about earlier, I was burnt out. Okay, I was so burnt out from all the craziness, and I just didn't want to just do it because it's out of obligation. I do it because I love it, and I didn't want to just have to do the same thing over and over, and it gets redundant. And honestly, it kind of get boring, in certain cases, though. And I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way, too. So that's clearly understandable. All right, sorry about that. Um, Even after the channel closed down, a lot of you have still watched it, and I'm extremely, extremely grateful that you have tuned in, checked it out for yourself, even when we were no longer active, for practically a year. And even when we did Cirque Archives, the channel that came back in a sense, you guys have checked it out. And for that, I am extremely grateful for it. So, what have I learned from the time I've been doing Studio 3 and the time I've been away? Well, to say the least, though, a lot of you have followed me over to that other channel, Studio 3, which will still be active, okay? Um, that channel will still be active in that case because we've put a lot of heart into it, like we've put our heart into this channel before. But the truth of the matter is that, we love feedback. We love your feedback. We love everything about it. But at the same time, we're also people who love the craft, but we also like to average. If you're a person who's done some really, really strange things, or if you're a person who only sees it for whatever personal thing you do, we want no part of it. We're not some channel that indulges on people's personal fantasies. I'm just gonna keep it buck. We are not a channel. RETROcirq Studios is not that type of channel. We are not in the business of those type of videos that you do. Okay, let's just keep it simple. We are a family channel. Okay, we want to appeal to not only families but also viewers who love content. There's no ulterior motive behind it. And I just want to say that directly. I'm a believer. If you don't know my faith, I'm a believer. I believe in Jesus Christ. That's one thing. But the other thing is that, we just love creating content. We just love sharing it. So here's what's going to happen going forward in terms of where the channel's going to go in terms of everything. First things first, we are going to be airing it. We're going to have a wheel format. Okay? We're also doing that on our sister channel too, but I'll get to that, what I mean by this. Now, for those, again, if you grew up in the 70s, you probably know the show Columbo, Macmillan and Wife, McCloud, etc., etc. They don't air it every week. They air it once every week, once a week. There's a different show every single week. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to do a different show, a different block of ads, same host, but a different block of ads or different segments every single week. But it will air probably on Saturdays. Why are we doing that? Because Thursdays and Fridays will be focused on Studio 3, and Saturdays will be for RETROcirq. That way, we don't overlap on each other. Okay, where was I? I want to send a huge shout out to Kier of Kier's Nostalgia Corner. I just want to say congratulations. You have made a big impact with your channel, and I'm so happy that you've had more than like 5 to 10,000 subscribers. So thank you. You're amazing. You're an amazing friend. I just want to say thank you. The king. Okay, he's the king. Dave Z of Dave's Archives. He's the king. Okay, amazing dude. If you never checked it out, which I'm sure many of you have, but please check out Dave's Archives. I also want to send a shout out to my friend Justin. Justin Hart of Telehell. Telehell podcast. He sent us a lot of tapes from the New York market. He was amazing. We've known each other for almost 20 years. Great dude, very great guy. Ken, I Can Read of TV Guidance Counselor, amazing dude. We've been friends for like 20 years. So thank you so very much, Ken, for your support. I'm grateful. We're a small community. Especially for myself, who's neurodivergent, who has a history of neurodivergency. We're great. I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful to everybody who has made this channel possible. Whether we're active or not, or inactive, you guys have made this channel possible. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for supporting RETROcirq Studios. I want to thank you for supporting us, whether you watch us on Studio 3, whether you watch us on RETROcirq, the Legacy channel. We're grateful. I want to thank all the talent who has been a part of this channel journey. Some who have been with us for the last 3 to 5 years. Some who decided to come in and move on to their other bigger adventures. Thank you. It means a lot. I'm grateful. So we hope you guys have been watching the channel. and we wish you guys all the best. And remember, we are not an AI slop channel. Yes, we do use AIs for some things, but we're not fully AI slop. We're human beings. That's why we end our thing with people, not prompts. So until we meet again, I'm Yarnell, the content creator, executive producer. Thank you for watching, and it's good to be back here on RETROcirq. Take care.